Got it. Got it. I think that means that we are live. Wish there was a better flag that would show us that we're live. It's got to kind of wing it, I think. I think we're good. Yeah, see? We are. Thank you, Coach Blu, for repeating that. We will jump right into this, athletes. Coach Blu here. Welcome to the regularly scheduled Tuesday night home-based meeting. I apologize. This was to be our year in review that had been postponed 2 times because of COVID. Now we are here for a 3rd time because of COVID. And it was hard to make that decision. We were looking at numbers, and you guys, it's just not worth it. I know that's super important to you. It's important to me. It's important to a lot of you. I'm excited to get these awards into the hands of those who've earned them over the last, now going on 3 years without one of these. It's insane. But I want to make it special. I don't want to do it just kind of half-assy, right? I want to make it good because you guys deserve it. And so even if it means putting it off a little bit longer, safety and keeping the team fit so that we can continue to pursue recovery is super important. So I apologize that for the 3rd time in a row, we're putting this on hold, but I'll tell you, this will happen. It'll happen in the next couple of weeks. There are a few things that I want to make you guys aware of. First and foremost, we have next weekend the break the ice, or the icebreaker, whatever it is, the polar bear plunge, the penguin plunge. It's the 5K, the Frigid 5K. I knew it would come. See, I've been awake for too long today. The Frigid 5K, it is still open for registration. Remember, if you register for the penguin plunge, proceeds go to help the Hutchings family. And so, I've been told that Jed is going to jump in the water with you guys. Each time you jump in, he's going to jump in with you. So if we get 20 people to do this, Jed will actually jump in 20 times with you. Right, Jed? I think that's what you wanted me to say. That's probably a lie. Don't hold me to that. But also, we have coming up in, I think it's in March, we have a great experience. We get to do, again, the Lake to Lake Relay. This is a relay that starts at Gunlock Reservoir in St. George, and you run all the way through St. George and the back alleys and around mountains and over bluffs and all kinds of crazy things to reach Sand Hollow. And it is a 10-person team, or if you are so inclined, I guess you could do it solo. I know that the Robinsons are bringing Emma, and Emma's putting together her team. And it's always nice to have a good, strong field of competition out there. So I know that if you have a minor leaguer that you'd like to have run this, please contact Coach Jensen so that he and Coach Pratt can put this together. I think we need 9 more young ones. And so if you want to go down and spend some time running with your little one, this is the perfect time. When we first started this years and years ago, when Coach Pratt reached out to Aaron in St. George, he was talking about what if it would be possible. And they thought, well, we never tried it. Let's give it a shot. And you guys, it ended up being amazing. I have so many fond memories. In fact, when you get to finally see the final version of the video, there are so many clips of the Lake to Lake, because that's been kind of a staple on Team Addict to Athlete. Back in the olden days, it was there was one called the Expedition 50. You guys stay tuned. You'll see Jed, Coach Jensen, in a very tight, small shirt. It's pretty hilarious. So let's get that registered for. If you have interest, we'd love to bring you on board with that. Again, if you have little kids or adult teams, if you want an adult team, we can get you guys the links that you need to register. So it is a great experience, and it is super fun. And I'll tell you, many times the minor leaguer team has beaten adult teams. So you better really get your exercise on. But this icebreaker, Frigid 5K this coming weekend is going to be a great experience. It kind of beyond the sledding thing that we did a couple weeks ago, this is the kickoff to the new year. This is what we typically start with. It's a great little run. It's usually frigid, and it's a 5K, so it's cold. You got to dress appropriately. We've had times when the ice has not formed on Utah Lake, and you just jump off the dock. And I haven't seen out there if anybody else has been out towards Utah Lake. What is the ice looking like? I don't even know. I haven't been out that way in a long time. but get registered for that. We have links on our social media pages. Beyond that, Marissa is finally joining us up there resting after putting in tons of computer work, trying to get us some grants, right? We'll forgive you. I can tell that you're not even going to put your camera on. I can tell, huh? You're like, screw this. Yeah, you got to grow a beard and then you can hide behind it. Yeah. But you guys, again, I want to apologize. We were looking at numbers of COVID and it's just not worth it. It is one of these things where, let's be safe rather than sorry. And I know that it's been kind of rough. Listen, we are changing our meeting location in Utah County. I know we've been doing this a lot, but I have been kind of over the moon with some connections that we made with Ian Acker and the Fit to Recover program. For those of you guys that may not know, Fit to Recover is a program that started soon after Addict to Athlete, and they started in Salt Lake, and they've branched out here down to Utah County as they grow chapters. And one of the coolest things is that Ian invited myself and Marissa and Brock Bevel to come tour his new facility in Orem. And it was kind of funny because, again, there's this funny little thing of like, everyone wonders about competition and stuff. And it's really kind of dumb because we're all on the same team trying to help people overcome addictions. I was able to meet with Ian and a few other guys down there as they get ready to launch their new program here in Utah County. And he's graciously offered us Tuesday nights to have the gym for Addict to Athlete. And so starting this coming Tuesday, a week from today, we will be meeting at the Fit to Recover gym in Orem, Utah. So that being said, we'll post the address, but it is wicked easy to find. So if you get off the University Parkway exit in Orem and you hang a left if you're coming south, and a right if you're coming south, right? If you're going north, hang a left. If you're coming south, hang a right. And it'll take you down into a business development park down there. There's things like Blend Tech and Half Price Dental and a bunch of other like little businesses. You're going to follow that road all the way down to the bitter end. Then you're going to hang a left or no, a right, and you'll see the gym. It's just right. It's the very last part of that road. We'll have some people out there to make sure you guys find it. But yeah, Ian Acker and the Fit to Recover team has allowed us to have some space, and it'll be great because we can utilize that and maybe even show you a little bit about what they're doing. There's a cool things happening in the world of recovery, and we're all on the same team. And so really, I think it was kind of cool because people always kind of figured because we are programs that help people overcome addiction through health and recreation, that we should somehow be in competition with each other, which is kind of funny, but I get it. We're not. We are on the same team, and this is a great opportunity. So we'll post the address. We're going to have our meeting regularly there at 7 p.m. next week. We'll have some masks and stuff available just in case, but they have enough room there to socially distance if necessary. We will have our meeting at first, and then we will get into a workout. I'm hoping that we can start off doing some yoga. So that's something I know we can do. As we get trained on some of the facility, we can definitely utilize some of their weights, some of their recreation tools, and it'll be cool to bridge some of those gaps. Marissa, do you want your mic on? Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, that's good. I just posted the address and it is on the website.
Okay.
For the Fit to Recover location in Orem.
Absolutely. So it'll be great to see you all there. And we'll probably end up doing our year in review there as well. Probably soon thereafter. It's super easy to do. What to play it by ear.
The numbers.
Yeah, we'll watch the numbers. But I want to make sure we do this the correct way because it really is a special, being our 10 year and now into our 11th year. By the time we do this, it may be our 12th year of operation, which is kind of funny. I want you guys to be able to be well represented. We have awards for our MVPs, our minor league MVP, a bunch of scattered awards, and we have our coach of the year and a podcast of the year, all kinds of good stuff. We want to make sure that we do it the right way.
If anyone has any suggestions for any of those,
they're picked. It's locked unless you use some bonus stuff.
Yeah, we don't have some of our old ones. We haven't used.
Yeah.
Guess we got them.
We got them. So unless there's someone that you truly think needs their own category, you better let us know. So Marissa, I've been contemplating this for a while, and this is something that I wanted to talk about a long time ago, but just haven't. But today, because of the resurgence of this COVID issue and with some stuff that I heard on Radio Ronin on the podcast. They were talking about this new issue that they're seeing with people just being depressed and down and just upset, frustrated, angry. And it has to do with specifically how we're operating in this pandemic. And it got me thinking, when's the last time we talked about some deep emotional and self-care, some deep self-care? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about next week, but because of situational issues, we're going to kick it up this week. Now, for all of you who are there, if you want to be part of this, because we're using the One with Coach Blu site, if you want to jump on and chat with Marissa and I, we'll post our link and then she'll bring you over. Yeah. But athletes, I want to talk a little bit today about self-care. And this is something that we need to really take some heed to. We really got to put some backbone into this, because who knows how long this is going to truly last. I heard today that COVID will never be gone from America. It is now here to stay. And it's here to stay because of a meridian of issues. It's a virus.
And what viruses do is they change and they and they grow and they don't want to be caught.
So they mutate and all that kind of stuff.
There's very, very extreme measures if we want it gone forever.
But as we've seen, we are not willing to do that. And I don't care about any of that stuff. It's whatever you want. Vax, no vax. I don't give a dang. But it's here to stay. And so we got to get ready for this kind of stuff, because it will limit a lot of what we're doing. If you've noticed, we've seen a lot of limitations in things from what, like businesses whose workers are sick, to issues with the supply chain, all this kind of stuff. We've got to be mentally prepared. I don't think any of us should be taken by surprise by this. And I'm saying this because most of you watching this have struggled with addiction. You should be capable and able to operate under stress. And what I mean by that is, during your addiction, you did this day in and day out. This is a lot different than your addiction, but the stress levels are still the same. You are all creators. You can create things out of absolutely nothing. These are talents that you have that you gained, unfortunately, during your addiction. Now, if you can apply those same principles on a positive side, on a positive note, can you imagine what you could accomplish? Therefore, I don't think we have the right to get too down on ourselves, because we've been through harder stuff. And what I mean by that, athletes, is think about your worst day in addiction. Okay, that day you woke up and you had absolutely nothing. You needed the substance to check out. You had no money, no means necessary, no transportation. At the end of the day, I guarantee you, you had what you were looking for. You created it and produced it out of nothing. Those same principles apply, and you can do that through the positive aspects of being, I guess, aware of your specific talents, meaning that there are ways that we can do things to help bring, connection and relationship. There are things we can do to adequately provide with the lack of things that we need. You guys, we have the most resourceful bunch of people that walk the face of the earth. So first and foremost, I've learned never to doubt someone in addiction recovery. Because whenever we've been put in a position where we needed to raise funds or we needed to overcome an adversity, we are the first people that the folks lean on to make things happen. The one thing we have a really hard time with is asking for help. For some reason, we still are in this mindset that we don't need anybody's help. We are the helpers, so we will wait until we are dang near dead and drowning before we actually grasp for help. That needs to change. That's the first part of this. First and foremost, if you are having a hard time, I cannot allow you to just stay silent. You have to reach out. We won't know unless you raise your hand. And I know that's hard, but there's only so many of us, and there's a ton of you out there. And so there are times when I spoke with a client today who lost one of her very dear friends to the virus. And she said one of the hardest things was I wasn't aware of how much I needed them until they were gone. And so now she's down on herself because she didn't ask Is there something I can do for you? Is there, checking in on Christmases or these kind of things? And she's like, I didn't realize what I lost until it was gone. And when talking with the family of this individual, she had mentioned that there were many times that this individual was very depressed throughout some of the earlier parts of finishing high school and trying to get into college and all these kind of things. And this person didn't even realize there was an issue. So when she reacquainted herself after coming back from her mission and getting some stuff done with school, she only had a few months with her before she passed. That to me is gut wrenching. But all in the same breath, how was she supposed to know? And I know that's hard, but if we don't ask for help, people, we're probably not going to get it.
I think some people worry that they don't want to ask for help because they don't know what they need. And that's okay too. Like, still just say, I don't know what I need, but I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm. So the COVID pandemic, it can feel super overwhelming, and like these new variants coming out and all these things that are happening, and we feel like we're getting some headway, and then we're not. Normal, I guess everyday tasks now aren't so normal, and they're kind of difficult to achieve. But I need you guys to understand that there are ways and things that you can do and things that you can be a part of that will help make sure that your emotional regulation and your self-care is always in check. It is so important. We're going to first start with the physical aspects, physical self-care. One of the most important things we teach on Team Addict Athlete here is to exercise and be active with this body that you have. Fuel your body with eating healthy. I am right at the beginning of making some major changes in my life, and I have no idea how challenging and difficult this part is. I'm waiting for the dramatic pause, and Marissa will be like, I know, I can tell.
It is hard.
So I've had some health issues that are completely because of my ignorance to some allergies that I've had for dang near 10 and a half, 11 years now. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm like, now it's starting to affect me in ways that I'm not cool with, right? Like this weird like leg rash and these weird things and make everybody sick if they're eating dinner. And I'm like, wait a minute, this has to be different. So I did this and doing this funny little thing called the elimination diet. Holy bloody cow, man. This is not fun. So I'm sitting there starving to death thinking, what can I eat? I had to go to the store and walk around. When you go to the store, you should never go to the store hungry. It's one of the worst things you can do. Man.
But you have to buy stuff because there's nothing at home. There is stuff.
But my rationale now is that although this would be super good, I was looking at it today in terms of, am I seriously addicted to sugar and things? And here I am now teaching and preaching and like counseling people to overcome addictions. And like, I am very addicted to sugar. And so today I felt like it was a triumph where I was walking through and I bought my avocados and my cucumbers and my pickles, and I got nothing unhealthy,
Good for you.
And it'll probably sit in the fridge and rot as I eat. No, just kidding, it won't. But it was kind of a cool thing because you guys, as I was looking at this, I'm noticing that we're not even plugged in here. This is going to make a little world of difference. All right, that may make a world of difference. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're here.
Yeah, it was because it was going through the computer and not this. This will be so much better.
Okay.
I think. Can you tell yet? Is it caught up? Maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, it should be good. Can they hear us still?
I think we can.
Okay. If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up.
No, I can't. He said it made it worse. I can barely hear now.
Really? Well, let's go by the normal side then. All right. Is that better? Let's try that one. I have all my stuff plugged in for that video we were making. All right. So that being said, the first thing you got to do is take care of your body. It is an absolute must. Okay. And when you start with the physical health, so many things fall into place. So first of all, let's get yourselves eating well. Get yourself balanced that way. It is not easy, but it is, what do you say? It is achievable, right?
Well, and one thing that you always struggle with is you always think, if I can't do it 100%, then don't do it at all. But my thing is something is better than nothing. So even if it is learn as you go.
What do you guys think about that? I'm curious. How many of you, how many of you out there are all or nothing versus slow and steady? Because I think that's kind of a thing that happens a lot, right? Cold turkey versus slow. Your mic is on, but it's not connected there. So this is all just from the computer itself.
Oh,
so you're gonna need to slide over here if you want to really get in tune. Well, you weren't here, so I jumped on here. I know you're coming down and watching your movie upstairs. I guess part of the physical health too is then getting into and leaning into an exercise regime that's going to be, I guess, beneficial for you. Again, now this is one of those slow and steady kind of tortoise in the hare things. You can't jump into something full force when you're talking about athletics and recreation because you'll burn out. And you'll burn out fast. And so it's good to get yourself into a situation where you can pace yourself incrementally to increase some of your physical threshold, your cardiovascular threshold. And the thing is this stuff can change really fast. Now, as you're increasing your physical health and you start moving, guess what happens to your mental health? It improves. This is where the dominoes begin to tip, you guys. Your mental health, okay, it starts to increase when you start to move your body. Do you know much, Marissa, about about serotonin, dopamine, all that kind of stuff? Yeah. So the cool thing about, getting into a mindset of like working out and releasing some endorphins, you can literally feel like you can take on the world because you start feeling better. There are 4 categories when it comes to chemicals that we release in our body. The first one you guys have all heard about is dopamine, right? You hear this, follow the dopamine, right? Because the dopamine is like the reward chemical. Movement produces dopamine. Yes. So eating food produces dopamine. That's why I had no dopamine walking through the vegetable aisle today. Okay. Achieving goals releases dopamine. A hug releases hold that thought. Yeah. Getting enough sleep actually releases dopamine. And of course, I shouldn't say dopamine. Dopamine really isn't exercise yet. But like taking a bath, doing things that are soothing. Okay, soothing things release dopamine. Yeah.
Doing things you enjoy.
Endorphins. Now, endorphins are the painkillers, right? You got to release some endorphins. Most addicted issues come from pushing the endorphins. So exercising releases endorphins, laughing releases endorphins, and so does listening to music and doing things like that, like art, creating, producing, those kind of things. Okay. Oxytocin, that's your hug.
Yeah.
Oxytocin.
That's the love drug.
This is what I'm noticing, listeners, that we are struggling with the most right now is that oxytocin is released when socializing. Oxytocin is physical touch. It's petting animals. It's helping others. It's doing things that are emotionally charged. This is what I'm noticing causing the most issues with the COVID pandemic and the socially isolated type experiences that we've been experiencing lately.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting watching some of the videos and stuff over the last couple of years where people had to be outside of like a hospital to see their loved one or like a rest home or something, and they could only see their loved one through a window. Heartbreaking, because oxytocin doesn't work that way. Although you can see that person, right? That's not the same as a physical touch. The last is serotonin, and serotonin is like sun exposure, and it's like being mindful and being in tune and being like in nature, and you can release serotonin, that calming aspect. They call it the mood stabilizer. And so if you look at dopamine being the reward, oxytocin being the love chemical, endorphins being the painkiller, and serotonin being the mood stabilizer, we've got to have all 4 of these quadrants running in order to make a good experience, to be able to be balanced. Where do you think the missing link typically is?
All of them. Right.
Do you think there's one that you get more of or less of? And this thing I was reading today, do you know what it is?
I think everyone's different, so I don't know.
During COVID, it's definitely been oxytocin.
Yes.
But over the last 50 years, you've seen a reduction in
What?
serotonin, the mood stabilizer.
Hmm.
We're not doing enough for ourselves. That means we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're allowing like stress and
Well, and I think
cortisol to take over.
serotonin often comes from the digestive system,
hmm
and they found that Americans have an awful digestive system. So
That they do.
could be probably part of it.
It's very true. So if we've got now some health things, some physical health with working out, eating well, doing those kind of things, and we're looking at mental health, being able to consume reading material, being able to, stimulate your mind by like taking those nature walks, going on experiences, creating new things, going new places is a big deal. All this stuff will kind of help. Puzzles, believe it or not, putting puzzles together is a very strong mind, rejuvenator. Plug your kids' ears, but playing video games also very rewarding this way. Yeah,
Move up to that next level.
absolutely. It really is, but it's also some of that dopamine release too. So you got to be careful. Obviously, too much of anything. But we start looking for, like the increase of self-care. Now, we also have spiritual health, right? Spiritual self-care. This is a hard one because we think, well, I don't want to go to church. It has nothing to do with church. By now, everyone listening should know the difference between spirituality and religion. Spirituality means you're doing things outside of yourself for something of a bigger purpose, right? It means you're serving in ways that are bringing some emotional awareness to you. It's about advocating for yourself to a higher being, to a higher level of understanding. You can do that through meditation. You can do that through nature. You can do that through service or a connection. Yeah, there's so many ways you can do this. But if you're not doing this one, chances are you're going to struggle with the rest of them, because you cannot be in a mind of gratitude and of humility and not feel some kind of spiritual connection, right? So it's kind of a crazy one. So you've got physical, you've got mental, you've got spiritual, and you've got emotional. Emotional health is where I'm saying you've got to raise your hand when you're starting to feel down and out. It's a rough one. I know it is, and it sucks, but this is where we truly are able to make the greatest impact, okay? When you raise your hand and you need some support, that qualifies another person to reach out and give to you what you are asking for, to be able to help support you, maybe help get you out of a funk, maybe to be that listening ear, maybe to be that person that helped guide you to some more support. Which means that one day you'll be that person that can then answer the call when someone else raises their hand for support. See, we forget that part, that it's a pay it forward kind of mentality, right? And so, to keep this fairly short and to kind of keep you guys, I guess, in tune with some of these concepts, we're going to be doing things to kind of increase, I would say, that serotonin. And that could only happen through connection. That's why we're going to do our best to make this the only night that we have to miss because of numbers. Next week at the gym, we will definitely provide outlets for masks and things to do that. But we've got to do this safely so that we can be together, people. It is one of the hardest things to be away. And until I read this study about self-care and stuff, I really was like, man, the pandemic hasn't been as devastating for me as it has for a lot of other people. But that's because I pursue those things. I have the family system. I have the ability to go out and create the endorphins through exercise and the serotonin and the oxytocin with all. I mean, I have all these things. And that's really cynical for me to say that I think if I can make it, why can't everybody else? Because a lot of you don't have what I have. Everyone's situations are different. And so if you're willing to jump through some of these hoops, we can get ourselves back together as soon as possible. But we need to do it safe. And we were thinking with a number so high that we couldn't, but this doesn't negate the fact that even outside of a pandemic, we've got to put our self-care first. Yeah. What do you think?
So true.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Just keep getting up the next day.
Absolutely. And so let's all gather together on Saturday for the Frigid 5K. I really, really want as many of you there as possible. If you don't feel like running in the cold, come out and support and cheer. come
Outside, so
come
hopefully they-
come out and take a bunch of pictures. Yeah, it's all outside. We'll keep ourselves distance, and you'll wear a mask because it's cold anyway, right? But come and just be a part of the team. COVID wrecked Addict Athlete. COVID wrecked a lot of programs. As I was looking at 2019's photos and how many people we had, I realized the magnitude and the impact that socially distancing has done to us, and it hurts. We've lost people because of it. And so we're going to change that course. We're going to change directions, but we got to do it safe. And we got to know that if we're under the weather, we take a knee and ride the bench that day. But please come to the race on Saturday. The links to register are online. They're on our on our Facebook page. If you can't run, don't want to run, grab your cell phone camera and take as many pictures as possible, because we are hurting for pictures through 2020 and 2021. It's like my baby album, right? All my siblings have tons of pictures, and it comes to me at like 3.
Hopefully it's not as bad as your baby.
Man, it's what it seems like. So just because maybe you don't want to run, or you don't want to, exercise, or maybe you can't, come grab some photos with your phone. Even the worst phone now is better than 2012's pictures, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's so many. Keith Carter did a ton of good pictures. Thanks heavens he had a good camera back then. But yeah, our cameras weren't so great back then. But come be part of this. I want to humbly apologize for needing to pull the cord on this one, but with the safety in mind. I didn't want to be responsible for anyone's passing. It was funny. I'll tell you this little story before we jump off of here. This last weekend was insane.
Steve reminds us it's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. So we'll have one more meeting before that. So Marissa and I had an opportunity this week. This was a busy week. We did a lot of stuff with the Agents of Recovery and just meeting people. On, I believe it was it Friday night?
It was fast.
No, what day was it?
I don't know. I think it's
Thursday night. It was Thursday night.
Thursday night? Yeah.
Was it?
Anyway.
It was Friday night. On Friday night, Marissa and I and Brock Bevel, we were able to go up to Salt Lake to visit with some folks that had started a program for after school investments, a foundation. And I realized when I saw the name, Ron McBride and the Ron McBride Foundation, I'm like, holy crap. This is Coach Ron McBride of the University of Utah, like legend.
Well, I didn't know we were going to have dinner with him.
You guys were foolish, man. Because I'm sitting there,
just like, somebody from the foundation.
I'm sitting there across from Ron McBride, and I'm like, holy cow. And Brock and you are just talking like no big deal. And I'm just kind of like starstruck. And I was listening to Coach McBride talk about his after school programs and the coaching that he still does, his volunteering that he does, Juan Diego High School and things of that nature. And, he's talking about the same thing we are with the addictions and the pandemic and the stuff that's really hurt the kids. And it got me thinking, like as we're sitting there all behind our masks and stuff, I don't want to be responsible for killing Coach McBride. We're all wearing our masks and stuff. And so we want to do it safe. But I'm telling you guys, like one of the neatest things is the inspiration that we pull from all of you. Because as we're sitting there talking to Coach McBride and the other guy, Paul.
He's
the head of the foundation, being able to talk about you guys and the impact that you have on so many people. You inspire people. And if you don't understand the magnitude of what you're doing, let me know. I will be more than happy to come sit and tell you about what we get to do talking about you guys. The day after, we're down in Delta, Utah, and we're talking to all these teenagers who are in this small little obscure town in the middle of almost nowhere, and the heart these kids have, and watching how grateful this staff is, as teachers and principal that we're down there helping them see that overcoming adversity is part of the lifestyle we get to live here. And them asking questions about you guys, about Team Addict to Athlete, about the minor league, all this kind of stuff, and how just blown away they are that there's participation out there. I hope you guys know that when your ears are itching, it's because we're talking about you. So much so that we're growing. And if you guys didn't see today, Marissa posted a thing on the Facebook pages about Primal Roots and what they're doing over there in England. It's because of you guys. And so in order to keep this team going, you've got to take care of yourself. I'm here to help on the mental level. Coach Jensen, Coach Pratt, Coach Sedgley, Coach everybody out there, they'll help you get there physically. Spiritually, as a team, we can do this together. This is what we do. We bring awareness. We bring we bring action to recovery. That's a spiritual component to that, right? Because emotionally, we all need each other. And so this is an important thing. We're going to get through this, and we'll learn ways to navigate around it. But man, I just have the utmost respect and love for all of you. I had this big speech I was going to try and give tonight for the meeting. I'm going to save that. I don't want to give too much away, but really thank you all for what you're doing. I know this isn't the best way to be promoting our message. I'm excited that we're building these relationships with people in the community. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy and be impressed by what we're going to be able to do with this gym and the access to it. Until who knows, maybe we get our own location and our own gym, and that's what we do. But for right now, it's a great marriage. It's a great relationship to have. I'm excited to show you guys. And we'll leave the same amount of respect there that we do with every other place that we've been. Marissa, final thoughts, anything?
Take care of yourself.
Okay. Take care of yourself, athletes. Turn that mess into a message. We'll see you this coming Tuesday, a week from today, in Orem at the Fit to Recover gym. Check local listings.
Yep.
Right? All right.